I heard something about how you change your perspectives when you do organizational development, or cultural development, what I would say you would maybe label it differently. I understood some things, how you educate your staff not to think in separate dimensions, but integrating things. In order to get forward into this evolutionary process, to catch up with the challenges, who has to change, for example, associations, or the way we do conferences, or the way how we meet as professionals? What are your ideas? What we we need to
yes and yes. but yes and because if we can start helping people see waves, not particles, flows and patterns, not things, and attend to the spaces between, then we have to say we don't change the conference, we change the conferencing. Yeah, we change, we have to always look at we have to think triangulatedly, always in threes. So we have to think not just how do we change the space between the people at the conference, but between the people at the conference and what the conference is there to serve.
Right.
We must always start from what are you and I here making this video in service of.
Okay.
So this is not a conversation between
you
the
are
two
hired
of us.
for our next conference.
So this is not just you. This dialogue is not just you and I. It is you and I, and the people. We are trying to be in service of.
I understand totally, but I guess I'm a member of associations I've co-founded, and I lead the institute here, and I am invited on conferences. So I know that's very often not the reality. I meet a lot of habitual old stuff, and I'm curious to hear about you. How do you deal with that? I hear you love to be challenging. And this is an important thing, but what else? So I sometimes suffer. I really suffer.
No, I empathise. And I don't mean that line. I empathise because so many workshops, away days, conferences, coaching sessions fall into dry habits. So I've just come from Stockholm, and I was doing some teaching and supervision masterclass. That's a problematic title always. So I started with asking them the question. There were 50 of them in the room. I said, I want to know, what is it we're going to need to learn today for each of you's 100 stakeholders to learn from our work today? How are not just 50 people, but 5,000 people going to benefit from the work we will do today?
And what is your experience with the answers you get?
Well, and then I said, and having worked on that in pairs, what are the questions we're needing to collectively address today? And by the way, I want quality questions, which I define as ones that you don't already know the answer to. I can't give you a simple answer to, but that if we together struggle with and dialogue with, we can co-generate some new thinking through. So I want to start a masterclass with questions that are future back and outside in, that are bringing the stakeholders' needs into the room, and that we need to start there, not have experts telling you new selling you new shinier models and techniques.
Oh, I understand this, and I see your brilliance in that. I do not have a feeling how easy you get a response that is fruitful in your perspective.
Well, what I want to do is I want to say to people I work with, I'm not always good at it. You know, I fall back on old habits and get it wrong. But I want to constantly experiment with how do I invite people to come to their learning edge and my learning edge, and we can stand there together looking into what neither of us yet know. Okay. Right? There's a lovely poem from one of my favourite poets, Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, the great Sufi poet of the 12th century and the beginning of the 13th century. And he says that there is a field beyond right and wrong, beyond the known and the unknown. Come, I will meet you there, and we will lie down together in the grass.
Oh.
I want to almost invite people to come to the place where the more than human world is knocking on our collective door and saying, listen, human beings, the more than human world needs you to stop, to listen, to learn, and to change.
Yeah, I love that, and I do not mean it negatively. It's also romantic, and we have an important German romantic development. It's very creative and future oriented, and still
I'm in the world of Goethe and Schiller.
Right,
and Shakespeare.
It's Weimar Romantic.
Yeah, Weimar Romantic.
It sounds like Weimar Romantic. You are right.